Hey, I'm Moritz and I'm making techno with music robots. Today I want to talk about my latest work. It's a music video which you might have seen where I perform with a lot of different music robots. So everything's actually played not with synthesizers but with robots. And I want to explain a little how this all works, how the electronics work together with the controllers, how I do control it and what they actually sound like here in the studio atmosphere. So now I will start with one of my favorite instruments. It's a futuristic kalimba. I've been searching for a quite long time to find something where you can have like this nice 808-ish sound, but made with like actual objects. So first off, I started with a prototype and it looked like this. You had electromagnets, you had small tongs, metal tongs, and I took the whole design from an African instrument called kalimba. This is like the final instrument. It has 5 tongs. You can kind of tune them to make a different tone, and there's a small solenoid which beats on the tongue, and this is taken by a piezo contact microphone which takes the sound directly, not like a normal microphone. And then you can control it with a MIDI keyboard. That's actually the real deal, because I don't play this with my hand, I play it with like a keyboard. What I also have is a PCB. It looks a little like this. This one is already ripped apart, but it works like this. You go with a MIDI signal in here. It's a XLR jack, but you can still feed anything to it, what I want. So you have like a 12 volt supply voltage, you have a MIDI signal, and from the keyboard I go into this. Then it's distributed with some crazy electronical magic, and it's going to this solenoid which is then beating on the tongue. And the whole thing is then taken off by this piezo microphone and distributed to my wonderful Behringer digital mixer. And there I just apply some compression and EQing, and then it's actually sounding as what I showed you before. And I'm just gonna play a little tune now. You can actually manipulate the sound with your hands. So when I kind of touch it, the sound changes a little. I can also play it with my hand here, so you can hear the sound. And this is pretty nice, because you can actually go to the object and change the sound. What I also realized after some time is that without a light it doesn't work so well. So I implemented some LEDs here. You can actually see how they are lighting up. It doesn't make anything for the sound, but it just like visualizes a little more what's going on, and so you can have this connection between the visual movement or like the LED lights and the actual sound. So the second instrument I built was this. It's a pneumatic hi-hat. So normally in electronic music you would take noise and just apply some filters, some release decay stuff on it. But obviously I'm not using any electronical sound generation, so I was searching for a noise in the real world, and what actually comes to mind pretty quick is a pneumatic air pressure system. So I found on the scrap market this. It's a valve system where you apply a voltage here, and then it's actually just switching on and off the different valves. Here we have 5. And I used this, it's inside here, to actually trigger different pneumatic sounds. And they go to the different cylinders, and they are actually making different sounds. So what I found out is when you want to shape the sound of this of the different pneumatic systems, it's very important to take care of how the sound is going out. So for example, if you take a bigger a bigger tube here, then the sound will be lower. If you take a smaller one, then it will be higher. What's also very important is where the air pressure is hitting onto. If you have, for example, like a small wall where the sound, where the pneumatics is going to, then the sound will be harsher. And if you let the air evaporate freely, then it will be more like a lush sound. So with that you can experiment a lot, you can try it out. I found here different objects where the sound is going to, and this is all taken then by microphone. So you can actually use this instrument for making very wonderful hi-hat sounds and also like a little ambient like sounds. I had the problem that when air is just like floating out, you can actually not see it, so I took the small styrofoam bubbles here to make it a little more visible what's actually going on. So, but apart from percussion instruments, I also needed some drone things, and I wanted to build a string thing. And so I thought, okay, I need a string, obviously, but also something that triggers the string. And first of all, I wanted to also use like a solenoid here. Then I thought, okay, maybe I take something that creates an electromagnetic field to make the string vibrating, like an E-bow. And this also sort of worked, but wasn't really good. And I made this prototype, and it actually pretty sucked. And I was like, oh no. So I came up with the guitar, drone guitar. It's super simple, it's just a motor, and the motor is beating on the string, and I just cut out half of it because I thought it would look cooler than a normal guitar. Yeah! Need some hard drives? Actually they are pretty cool also when they are finished storing data, because you can do a lot of cool stuff with them. When you rip them apart, they have wonderful things like spinning things here where you can apply some stuff on it, and you can also use the heads, the moving heads, for movement. And I played around with them, and I realized I can actually use them to make also wonderful sounds. Also piezo microphones, and they have a clicky sound which you can use as a snare-ish clap sound. Yeah, sort of. They are amplified here. We have like a small audio amplifier here. There you go to the digital mixer then. And yeah, they're just nice to watch and to see. Ah, delicious. So what we also needed was some tonal percussion instruments, some crazy psychedelic bells. And so I came up with the not so crazy idea of using glasses, but they still sound cool. Yeah, kind of like this. What you wouldn't expect, and what at least I didn't expect, is the pitch of the glasses. Because when you fill them up with more water, the tone actually gets lower. And what I also found out is that the opening of the glass is also kind of influencing the pitch. So the smaller the opening here gets of the glass, the higher the pitch is. So you have to also experiment with some kind of different glasses and so on. I hope you enjoyed it, my explanations, and I hope it encouraged you to build robots your own. Robots will take over the world anyway, so you can start building. And I also play a lot of concerts. You are always welcome to come around, have a chat with me, and interact with my robots. And if you haven't watched, here's the video again. You can watch it. And so, see you in the real world.